welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to show you how I fill in my brows. I typically always have my brows filled in at the beginning of every makeup tutorial, so I thought I would go ahead and do a separate video to show you how I fill in my brows on a everyday basis. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into it. So the first thing I like to use is my Holy Grail eyebrow pencil, and this is the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and the color I like to use is Ebony. Ebony is one of the darker shades. I actually like to use this shade because it is very close to the color of my brow hair. I love this pencil. It's dual-ended. It has a spoolie on one side and then your pencil on the other side. It's hard for me to find a good brow pencil that matches my brows because it's either too light or too dark. So the first thing I like to do is just brush out my brow hairs with the spoolie side. Next, I'm just going to take my pencil and start filling my brows. First thing that I like to do is take my pencil and start filling in all the sparse area. As you can tell, my brows are growing in and I'm missing a lot of hair underneath, more so than up top. So I always like to kind of start by filling in this bottom portion. I just like to kind of fill in the obvious gaps, and then I'm going to go back and actually define the brow. And I'm just making very small light strokes. I don't want to do too much pressure, and I don't want to do one straight line all the way across because it's going to appear a lot more harsh. Brow hairs kind of stop right here, and I like to extend it out just a little bit more. So this is when I just take it and I basically draw it in like that. And I like to go in and still shade in some more of the area. Now that the bottom is pretty much done, I'm going to start doing the top. And then once I get to the arch area, I just like to kind of round it off a little and then bring it down into the tail area. So one tip that I have is I like to hold my pencil more towards the back where the spoolie is, because the closer you are to the actual product like this, the harsher the lines are and the more pressure you're going to be applying when you put on your brow product. Another thing is when you use this pencil, you want to go in the same direction your hair is growing. Go ahead and just move onto this inner portion. First, do a very light pencil at the bottom, super light. I like barely touched it. I like to bring it at an angle, and I like to then make upward strokes. Connect it at the top just a little. I'll just move my pencil in this direction just so it looks, you know, more put together. I have all of that done. I'm going to use the spoolie side and brush out the product to kind of give it a more softer appearance. So I like to start here at the front, and again I'm going to take my spoolie and brush it up a little bit. And then when I get here, I like to kind of take the spoolie and start brushing it over. You want to be very careful if you have like gaps like me, like right here in the front. You don't want to apply too much pressure, because the more pressure you apply with the spoolie, the more product you're going to actually take off. So to make sure that we don't take off any of that work that we did, I just kind of focused the spoolie on my actual brow hair area, if that makes sense, rather than running it through kind of bald spots. This is just how I do it. Next step I like to do is clean up. The concealer I use is this Becca Ultimate Coverage Concealer. So I will take this concealer and this flat definer brush. This is the Luxie 221 brush, and I'll use this to clean up under my brow. I'm just going to get a little bit of that concealer on my brush, and then I like to take it and trace the bottom of my brow. Now I'm going to take that concealer and I'm going to take my brush and pull it down. I love using a flat definer brush for this step because it's very small, it's very precise, so I can get right up close to that brow without ruining any of the work I just did. As you can see, where I was tracing along the bottom of my brow, I actually have a little bit, I don't know if you can tell, but I have a little bit of a gap right here. Go back and apply more pencil to that area. For the finishing touch, I just like to take a brow gel just to make sure all my hairs are set in place and we're good to go for the entire day. Take this spoolie and I like to pull the hairs up a little bit. I'm still going in the direction that they naturally grow, but I also like to kind of lift them a little bit. I do this because when it gets closer to time to getting them waxed or threaded again, those brow hairs get kind of longer. I don't know about you guys, but mine fall. With the concealer under here, you can definitely leave it as is. You can set it with a little bit of powder, or you can take a product such as this one. This is the Benefit Eyebrow Pencil. I like to trace the bottom of my brow right over that area that we put the concealer. And this is the Luxie 213 eye shading brush. I'm going to go over it with the brush and blend it out. If you make a mistake or anything, you can always just take your finger and just brush it out a little bit, clean it up. This is my before. This is my after. So I went ahead and did my entire makeup. One thing I want to tell you guys is to remember that your brows are sisters, and they're not twin sisters, they're just sisters. So if they are a little bit uneven or you know, a tad bit different of a shape, don't worry about it. I mean, if somebody is looking at your brows that hard, then they need to get a life. You know, I'm just saying. Like this video if you did enjoy it, and if you don't want to miss out on any future videos of mine, be sure to subscribe. I would love for you to be a part of my YouTube channel. But until next time, bye guys.